Hi. Do you spend a lot of your life on autopilot, doing things without thinking? Because if you do, you're not alone. Welcome to the club. The other day I was walking and we'd had quite a bit of rain where I live. And the general way I always walk in the morning, it's a little dip. And when we've had a lot of rain, it flows down that dip and it becomes unpassable. So there's a longer way that I can go, a different way, but automatically, that's where I walk. And as I got there, and I've gone, oh, you should have remembered that this was not going to work today. So that's fine. I backtracked. It's all about getting the steps up. Doesn't matter where or how. So that was all good. And I chose that morning not to listen to a podcast or make a phone call, partly because it was raining and those things are tricky to do when it's wet. But I chose to just let my mind wander, see what comes up. It's one of the places in my life where I have the opportunity to connect with myself. And as I was walking and wandering, I turned and I was coming back home, and my mind went to thinking about the things we do on autopilot and how we can interrupt that in our lives, and the importance of awareness, why I focus so much on awareness in my therapy work. And while I was thinking all this, I realized that I'd forgotten that I had to deviate because the rain had blocked my normal pathway. So the irony was, I went into autopilot thinking about autopilot and had to backtrack for a second time. So it happens because if we don't consciously think about what we want to think about, our mind just defaults to doing what it knows, doing what it's comfortable with, doing, what you've done in the past, going through the habits that you're used to. So it's only natural that that's what I did, because I wasn't consciously thinking, where am I walking now? I have created such a great walking habit. I can do it with my eyes closed. But it doesn't always serve us to go through things with our eyes closed. Which leads me to my main point, which is about bringing that consciousness to some things you do in your life. Yes, it's taxing for the brain to think about everything, which is why we have habits. And that's why they're so important and so powerful, creating routines and habits that frees up our energy to focus on other things that are more important. Yep, so habits are normally things that don't matter that much. You get up the same way, you might have the same thing for breakfast, you put the kettle on, you make your coffee, you go and wake the kids up, you yell at the kids to get up. We have a pattern, which is good until it stops serving us. So let's go through a couple of things, a couple of points in your day where you can bring a conscious awareness to connecting with yourself as a way of saying, is this still serving me? Is this giving me what I need? Now, if you've been listening to a few of my podcasts, you've probably heard this next point before, and it's asking yourself that question, what do I need? What do I need today? Number one. So that's, really first point of regular connection with yourself is checking in with your needs. I did that today when I woke up and hadn't had a particularly great night. I don't know. I just woke up feeling a bit, blah, as you do sometimes. And I thought, what do I need? Yeah, I've gone and I've put the kettle on and I've made a cuppa and I'm running through my normal routine, which is get out there, go for a walk, have a cuppa, sit for a little bit, maybe write, maybe read, maybe listen or watch something, go for my walk. And I'm going, yeah, none of that inspires me. None of that feels like what I need most. Thought, my body really needs to be grounded. I really want to connect with the ground. Now, I didn't want to go outside. It was early, the ground's a bit damp, whatever. I wanted to sit on the floor. So that's what I did. I took my coffee, took what I was, reading at the time, and I sat on my floor probably for almost an hour, and it felt so good. It felt so good. This is grounding. This is why we ground. What do people do when they're in shock? When people collapse? They head towards the ground. What do kids do when they're feeling anxious or overwhelmed? They hide under the table. We're looking after a cat, or my daughter's looking after a cat at the moment. What's the cat do? It finds somewhere to snuggle in and gets down low to hide. We're connected with the earth. So ask yourself, what do you need, and see where it takes you. First point of connection. Second point, as I said, walking. Walking is a fantastic point of connection. You can make that choice to walk in silence. You can choose to connect with a particular piece of reading, something you like to listen to, which promotes ideas and resonates with you, or you can choose to listen to silence. So, they're two great points of connecting with yourself. A third way is to write. I mean, you can write at any time. Just write and connect with yourself that way. But if you're super busy, it's hard to find those moments. It's hard to go, where's the time? Where's the space? Where's the quiet for this? So it's a great one to do, tricky one to do on the run. Whereas asking yourself, what do I need right now, takes very little time. You can click in on that. You can switch in on that. And the more you do it, the more attuned you are to what your body's needs. You can connect in little spaces. If you're driving, if you're stopped at the lights, if you've just dropped your kids off from school, the moment to take a breath, just before, you go to sleep, when you're in the shower. What we're looking at is different points throughout the day where you stop the automatic habits, automatic response. And when you take those moments, you can tap into your calm dynamic. Now, what's the calm dynamic? I'm throwing these words at you, aren't I, in this podcast? But the calm dynamic is that space. To me, when I think about it, it's like a little door opens in my mind, and there's this little kernel of white space where rational choice can be made. That this morning when I asked myself, what does your body need? It was like this door open. It was like this. I need this. Because I'd stopped my regular habit. I'd stopped just automatically sitting down at the table with the coffee and gone, right. So the calm dynamic allows you to make a conscious decision. I'll come back to this and I'll talk more about this, but this is the little sprinkle of wisdom I'd like you to take away today. Where can you start practicing accessing your calm dynamic? If you want more information on how to do this, I've talked about it, I've written about it, I go over it in therapy, and it's all connected with awareness, understanding of self. More than happy to send you in the right direction, have you book an appointment. And the other thing you're welcome to do is subscribe to Sprinkles of Wisdom for Wonderful Women, which was a new email list I created last year where we talk about these things, where I share the podcast, where we take out the meaty bits, this is the thing to take forward. And I put it in the email. So it's a nice, easy reference for you whenever you need it. I'll pop the subscription link in the show notes. And feel free. Feel free to do it. It's free, so why not? Okay. Thanks for listening in, and I will catch you in the next episode. As always, if there's things in here that resonate with you, I'd love you to leave me a review, a few stars, help promote the podcast, share it with a friend, and ask me questions. If you ask me a question, I would love to include it in the next or one of the next upcoming podcasts. Okay, till then, take care of yourself.